110 views in the last hour.
Well, guess what? We're live.
Oh,
Yay!
hi, folks.
And we didn't even get the intro.
Did not even get the intro today.
No intro bed for you. No,
See, I was in the stream with the two guys, Eric, and I heard you going bloop trying to get in, but you were not appearing on the side. So I had the novel idea, maybe I need to leave and come back in. Well, evidently when the host leaves, he's still in the stream, and it would not let me back in. It would just hang up.
Weird.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is what you pay for, folks.
That's right.
Only the best just for you is.
Not that anybody's probably watching, because they're probably staring at the other screens going, what the hell's going on here? So this may be a recorded video, gentlemen.
Oh, no.
No, we do have one person watching. Hold on. We got a whole one individual who is smart enough not to switch on the other ones. So whoever you are, thank you.
Yeah, well, you know.
Well, and just to get the video started, like we always do, buy Glenn's book, and I'm getting my short stories up on
No. It doesn't happen until I flash the book.
Oh, okay.
Hey, he's flashing.
And folks, my fun GoFundMe is going to stay up until like third week in April. So,
hi Matt, glad that you could figure out our screw up. Basically, Restream did a malfunction,
hey,
so you know, is what it is, right?
We perform to one person if we have to.
Yes, that's right. We'll perform to none. We're like little puppies.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to perform to nuns.
That could be illegal in certain states.
See, Matt was the smart one. We got several people. And Buster, how you doing? People are starting to figure it out now.
They're catching on.
For those of you who are watching, we ended up having to reschedule the stream for the same time and do a new one because me and Eric somehow got locked out of the stream, and I'm the freaking host.
Yeah. By the way, folks, if you're watching this, although I am physically in New York, I am virtually in the UK.
Okay. Eric had the bump.
I had to like step out of myself.
That's right. So thank you, everybody.
There was like Steven and me there, and the show would go on forever because we weren't the host. We couldn't end it.
That's right. That's right. So how is everybody today on this Tuesday?
Good.
Feeling good. Like I was starting to say earlier, I finally got over all of the initial hurdles to get my the first of the two books I was talking about over onto Royal Road. It's a little bit, it's a little bit rough to get started, but once you get past that, everything goes really smoothly. So I have this afternoon scheduled that I'm going to start uploading the individual chapters for that first one. The first one's going to be called The Storyland Articles. I'm taking that one short story anthology that I published with you and I've later pulled it. I'm taking that, using that as the umbrella for all of my experimental short stories that I'm going to be posting up there. And then after that's done, then I'm going to start posting the Magefall chapters. So,
gotcha. So books are going up. Glenn, you have a cold, I think.
I have something, I don't know.
Eric's virtually in the UK, and I got too much drugs today. So you know what? It's just a great freaking Tuesday for everybody.
We're just having fun.
So I might die online right here, folks. Just to let you know.
Glenn, if you have a stroke, the show will go on in your honor. Okay, and we'll just wait till you start to kind of see flies flying around you. Then we'll call the Emmy. Okay.
Well, welcome to the vlog of many things.
It's the vlog of many things: corpses, drug addicts,
everything.
Authors, virtual UK video guys,
and sometimes animals.
Yes, sometimes
animals.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of animals, I was telling Don about my my ever so fun neighbor this morning.
Oh,
I was sitting in here just working away and stuff, and all of a sudden, out in the hallway, I'm just like, what the heck? And the next thing you know, police are rolling up and everything, and I'm just like, oh, great.
Gotta love a good domestic, right, Eric?
No,
it's unreal. It's unreal when it happens, isn't it?
Swasa Ponte 6094. Hello from Taiwan.
Taiwan. Hello. We got to shout. We got to be hello.
Taiwan, and we got Matt Sherman says crappy weather in North Florida. It's actually cold and sunny here.
Really?
We got for Florida. That's bad weather.
Same here in Oklahoma. We got cold
and sunny here. Probably not even a cloud in the sky here. And Oh, not in the UK. Certainly not in the UK.
UK's always cloudy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cloudy with a chance of not raining.
Let's get Dan on here about that.
So,
yes, there was
Death Angel Shadow. How you doing? Yeah, you were on the wrong channel. You were not on the wrong channel, Death Angel. Yeah. What happened was me and Eric got locked out of the stream, so we had to reschedule it.
The usual, screw up on
Chris, how you doing? Yeah, basically, you were waiting on the. Yeah, it was just.
You could have been waiting on my channel and had the same thing. Don't worry about it.
You
don't ask so many questions, all right? Do it. Don't make me break
Restream Eric has been acting very odd lately. I hope
they've been updating it. Okay, so like now I don't have to go, Don, how many people are watching from my channel? Because now I can see.
Yeah, we can see.
Which
is. And what I like also is when I'm on your channel as a guest, and maybe you can do it here too, you see that it's live.
Yes.
You see that you're live online or you're being recorded or whatnot. So that's a positive.
Like
on air.
Mm-hmm. So
we feel professional here.
So everybody's doing well today.
More or less.
Yeah, I know. Glenn's sick. Douglas Pearson says weird start, but weird. Yeah, guys, it's going to be a weird start. Okay, go to the beginning. You'll understand.
RPG Grandma, hello.
Yes. How are you guys? We got all kinds of people in here for lunchtime.
I haven't seen her on here in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since she's come on. She might have been a lurker, silent watcher, but been a little bit since on vlog. RPG Grandma, hope you're doing well. So what is anything new happening in gaming news? I mean, they did the big announcement with Luke.
Whee!
So Melf's Guide to Greyhawk or something, I guess.
Melf's Guide, yes.
And
totally clueless.
Melf's Acid Arrows, the only spell I can think of. Right?
Melf, I guess, was Luke's character when he was playing, correct?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
I believe that is what I understand.
And Wizards of the Coast is teaming up with Luke Gygax to put out Melf's Guide to Greyhawk. The only question is will it be a 5.5, 5e, or 6e, or maybe something different?
I am going to suspect strongly that it's no, not even. I suspect. I got a feeling it's going to be like I think it was the old Volos guys that were kind of like almost like system neutral or very low on stats.
That would be the smart way of doing it, system neutral.
Yes, because that way you can sell it to the old school grognards. You can still sell it when the next edition comes out. My guess. So, but we'll see. Again, Dan Ayub is not thinking the way the leadership of WotC has thought in the last 10 years.
No, they haven't. He's taken it in a different direction.
So,
Buster N204 2014 says, "Does anybody trust where they'll go, even with Luke?" I think so. I think Dan Ayub, he's smart enough to know what gamers want because he's experienced as a gamer. So yeah. I would say that Buster says it's going to be 6. I don't know. By doing a system neutral or edition neutral book, then they maybe will appeal. Well, they will. They'll appeal to everybody.
Right. Mm-hmm. By the way, my ear trumpet gifted a membership. So, Joshua, you just got you are going to be a super minion for the next month. Just so folks know, if you're watching on my channel, I am about a week ahead in getting my videos recorded and up. And unless they're a collab, minions, supporters of the channel, get early access to all my videos.
Nice. Yes, you do. That's kind of handy. I like that feature as a member.
Yeah. So if you're impatient, it's $1.99 to start. The super minions that were $4.99. So again, my ear trumpet is a very generous individual. Thank you, sir. Or
RPG Grandma says system neutral would be a good reboot move.
Would.
I really think that they are rebooting D&D, and I think although it won't be OSR, I think that they're smart enough to, if I'm talking about 6E, I think if you see a 6E, which I think you will, I think it's going to be, for lack of a better term, OSR-ish, because this is what I think is going on. They know Shadow Dark is hot, and they've read Shadow Dark, and they know that Shadow Dark is that ode to OSR, but it's also popular with 5e players. So I think Dan Ayub is smart enough to look at that and go, we need to do a little shifting here.
Yep.
Just me opinion. Just me opinion.
Might be a good opinion.
Brass Monkey says, I do not think they will turn loose of the reins. I think they just want to try and pull some people back using. I really don't. I think that Dan Ayub is smart enough to look around and go, we really need to take a look at D&D. I just really believe that. Chris Money says Mel's Acid Arrow, Mel's Minute Meteor are the two I can think of.
Oh yeah. Oh Jesus.
James, how you doing?
So
RPG Grandma says an additional conversation book that talks about how to move back and forth between the editions to help people really buy into their products and new reprints.
That'd be nice.
And then Buster says, didn't they say something about bringing in some 1E and older editions even before look? Yes, they are bringing in older editions. I will say that.
Did Luke's project, is that going to be done in house or?
I don't know.
WotC is publishing it, so I don't know what that.
Well, the thing is, Wizards of the Coast is really strange. When you're in a licensing conversation with them, they mention a lot of other people, but they don't mention them by name. It's weird how they put it. They'll talk about other licensees and with their franchise, and that's another thing that people are not really getting, I think, and not talking about. At least I don't see it talked about at all. Think about this. WotC has announced their franchise program. Now, what is a franchise? It's getting other people, other companies involved in the creation of product. Okay? Right. People can go and approach Wizards of the Coast and want to be a part of it. Now, it may not be like a traditional franchise, but they are franchising companies by reaching out to companies or having companies who have reached out to them, sitting down with them, they listen to them, and then they possibly will move forward on stuff.
Yes, a result of like the original 3rd edition. I can't think of it. Contract.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I think the OGL and such, Dan Ayub is just a really good choice for the leadership of the D&D program at WotC. I just really think he is. If you could pick 5 top people to run it, I think Dan Ayub would be in the 5.
Okay.
Yeah,
I really do.
From what I've heard from people that were at GaryCon and got to actually sit down and talk with Dan didn't hide from people at GaryCon. Okay. He put himself out there, and I've got viewers from this channel going, "Hey, I got to actually ask Dan Ayub questions." He was just sitting at a round table with people. He understands that D&D is as much about the community as it is about the rules, as it is about making money.
Yes,
okay, and that's a trifecta. You need all 3. You're not going to make money without the community and without a good set of rules. And he understands that from what I'm gathering. I haven't met the guy. I haven't spoken with him.
A good table rules.
Well, I mean, a good set of rules to start with. I'm not
right. I'm saying it works at the table, should work on the computer.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I thought you meant like house rules at the table.
No. I'm talking about solid set of rules sitting there at the table with your players. Plus, you can take it on the line and no problem.
Yep.
The thing is the whole thing. Buster says this, and I think he's kind of leaning towards the right thing here. Franchise, they own the name, get rent rent, cost of license, and they get profits without work. Exactly. That's exactly, I think, what they're doing. That's, I can tell you that's what they're doing. And the thing is, you know, it's but the thing is, you have to understand that when you do something like this, you're not on your time, you're on theirs.
Yeah.
And you know, they control it. Now, I know why they're going with Luke initially, because Luke has name recognition. It shows that they've kind of patched up with the Gygaxes, you know, the D&D brand finally. You know, the melding of the, you know, shaking of the hands, you know, the Confederate and the, you know, Union over the fence type thing. And I'm happy to see it. I really am. I mean, this childish ass bullshit animosities, put them aside, be a gamer. Luke has been doing GaryCon, honoring his father. There's I see a lot of stuff online. Well, are they going to take back and publicly apologize for insulting Gary in the, you know, no, they don't need to. Okay. Because that was not Dan Ayub. He was not in control of that. And I'm sure they've had back end conversations where Dan's probably shook Luke's hand and said, listen, that's not us anymore. I got new people. They don't need to do it publicly. They don't need to do some thing for, you know, the community to go, oh, we're happy. You know, I'm sure that this was in negotiation with Luke for quite a while. Because I know what I know of Luke, and just dealing with Luke through Tim Cass to be able to put the name Gary Con on the Lost Adventures of Gary Con. Mm-hmm. Trust me, Luke understands business. Luke understands things like name recognition, brand protection, and all of that. So I think WotC is moving in the correct line myself. I really do.
Good. That's what we all want to hear.
What's that?
All right, Death.
What? No, WotC working, you know, going in the right direction is something we all want to hear.
That's right.
Well, the thing is, Death Angel says, I want an apology for all the grognards. You know, I don't agree with that. And I'll tell you the reason why, Death Angel Shadow. Because D&D was not insulting people like us. And really, when you look at the you know, what they wrote, you know, they were being politically correct, although not correct, something that I would agree with. But the thing is, you know, they were not like mentioning people. They weren't saying like Tim Kask and Frank Menser and such. You know, it's a new world. As long as D&D is moving forward, in my opinion, in a positive way, with someone at the helm who knows what the hell he's doing, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'll take actions over apologies because honestly, they'll be apologizing for the actions that were taken by a different set of leadership.
In business, you should not have to pay for the sins of your predecessor.
Yeah. So, I mean, I still remember when that announcement came out over a holiday weekend. The initial announcement had spelling mistakes and didn't even know the name of Dungeons and Dragons. It was like an intern put it out quickly because somebody had to put out a fire.
Yeah.
So, and you have to remember too, it included D&D Next material. So it included early 5e. So they threw under the bus pretty much anybody and everybody. It wasn't just picking out us. 4e was thrown under the bus. 3e was thrown under the bus. They all were.
Oh, hold on, Matt. Mm-hmm. This comment by Matt Sherman. Matt says, well, we will see if Gary is acknowledged and included in the history of this new book. Okay, stop all right now, is my opinion.
Screech.
You know what the problem I have with this comment? And Matt, love you to death, my friend. Happy to see you at WizardCon. We're going to game together. I buy you a freaking beer. But this is my problem right here. Why does everybody center on Gary Gygax? I know the name, but you know what? We will see if Gary and Dave is acknowledged and included in the history of the new book of Greyhawk. You know, or better yet, how about the people that really instead worked on Greyhawk physically? You know, And see, the thing here is this. I understand the Gygax name. The Gygax is at the helm. The Arnesons have pulled back. The family doesn't really want to be in the limelight. The Gygaxes, Luke, from the time he started Gary Con, has done a honorable job of honoring his father. I mean, what he's done for his father's legacy is just outstanding. But I don't think they need to acknowledge Gary in the history of the new Book of Greyhawk.
Well, you see, this is how it goes. They're honoring. If they honor Gary, they feel the people who are doing it feel okay. We've covered everybody.
Well, and that's just it. When the thing is, I think you have to take a look at it more broadly and say, listen, I agree with Matt Sherman. Without Gary Gygax, there would never have been a D&D, because he's the guy who pushed Arneson and kind of had the idea, and he kind of really started doing things. But the thing is, at the end of the day, the game has moved forward. Right. And we don't have to mention Gary Gygax's name in every supplement module and edition that's put out, because you just don't do that. I mean, I don't know what your guys' opinion is, and I again, that's what this show's for. We all want to discuss this stuff, but RPG Grandma says, get people with good talent, either in-house or franchise, to make product that excites players. Remember the focus: adventure, good or law versus evil or chaos, treasure hunting, risk reward. Bingo.
Right.
There you go.
And talking about the guy, there was a comment on Facebook about, will this book be enough to heal the rift between the Gygax family and WotC, and should it be enough? It's not listen, it's not my family, and it's not my company, so I'm not involved in whether this is enough. Only the Gygax family can decide if it is it. If you talk about the rift between the gamers and WotC, that's totally different. I think Dan Ayub was taking a great step in the right direction.
I agree 100%. And I want to clarify something about Luke Gygax. How many people in chat or in this group has worked with Luke Gygax to use one of his trademarks in one of his properties? I have, with Tim Cass. And I'm going to tell you something. Luke ain't a fool. Luke doesn't move, and Luke does not allow unless Luke is really in the loop, understands it, what the project is, how the project goes. Because me and Tim, even Tim Cass, as close as Tim was with Luke, we had to really work with Luke about using just of Gary Con, because that's a trademark name.
Right.
And I mean, he even got down to the brass tacks of how big the font was and where to put it at and everything. So for Dan Ayub, and I understand it's a little bit different because I'm sure some money's involved, but if Luke was not happy with how they made up with him, I'll put it that way, I guarantee he would not have worked with WotC.
Right.
I mean, so if Luke is happy, and I'm sure the other family members are happy, then I, as a gamer, am happy, because Luke, at the end of the day, controls his father's legacy.
True. Not his stepmom. Yeah.
Exactly. As Tim Cash used to put it, the widow. Yeah. Mark, how you doing today?
Oh, Mark.
RPG Grandma says lots of people got thrown under the bus. That's why I say welcome to everyone who's having a good time playing through. You know what? I agree. A lot of people have been stepped on here. But the thing is, if they're moving in the right direction, and anyone, please disagree with me if you want to in the group here. But as long as this is, I think, depending on what this is, this could be a really good positive step. And I agree with Death Angel Shadow. I'll just wait and see what happens. Greyhawk was Gary's campaign. Blackpool. Well, the thing is
Blackmore,
yeah, Blackmore. And the thing here is that, yes, but there's other people that made it happen. Are they going to use Darlene's sections of Darlene's original map? Or are they making new maps? What are they doing? I have a lot of questions, but I'm not. That's above my pay grade. So Matt says Blackmore was Dave's. Yes. Move the company away from their godforsaken place they are now. And they are Death Angel Shadow, I think. I think under Dan Ayub, they are moving it. I'm going to put this out like this. There are, in the short term, a lot of announcements coming from WotC. So I can tell you right now, I know of at least 2 other announcements coming from WotC in the short term that I think that people will go, what? And they'll be like, huh?
Yep.
And it'll be a positive move forward. I just have that feeling. Buster says, I don't care if they do or not, but it would be nice if they just did acknowledge their roots and make the family happy. But Buster, I think they already made the family happy because Luke would not have been in business with them unless they didn't.
Right. I mean, yeah, you're getting cut a check. You're making a business agreement.
Yeah.
At the very least, it's civil. And not for nothing, Dan and Luke were doing panels at GaryCon.
Yes.
It was a joint announcement. It was a big thing. So,
yes. Yeah. Dan Tesh says, I've seen nothing out of present-day WotC to give me any faith in a new Greyhawk book will be any good, and that's my primary concern with all. But you know what? I am willing to stop, take a deep breath, and go, you know what? Luke does know OSR. They know Shadow Dark is like widely popular. And what is Shadow Dark? You know, Shadow Dark's that mix, that weird mix, and has really hit a nerve with people. And with Dan Ayub, especially at the helm, I think they are realizing that and seeing things.
Yeah,
and they're not dumb.
Right. I was told by somebody who spoke with Dan at GaryCon. I don't know the name of the book because I don't really follow 5e, but there was a 5e book that came from the printer. It was done under the prior regime, and he looked at it and he read it and he said basically that this isn't what we're doing. This isn't up to quality. And the book was printed, and they pulled it and pulped it.
And I'm going to tell you something. You're right here. A company that size to do that, it's not like a small company. Oh, we're going to pull 25, 30 books.
No.
I guarantee they probably had 50, 100,000 of those books printed.
So.
And for Dan Ayub to go ahead and say that this book is not going to be par, that I think Dan Ayub is trying to put it in a different direction.
Well, I think Dan is looking at he's there and he's like, if it comes out under me, it's my legacy. It's kind of like, you inherit, you're president, you inherit the economy that your predecessor gave you.
And you have to fix it.
He's inheriting releases from his predecessors, and this was one that he was like, no, I'm not putting my name on it.
Yep.
So I think that's a good sign.
Absolutely, it is.
Listen, you have glass half empty, glass half full. Where we were before was certainly a glass half empty. Yeah. Where we are now, I'm willing to say is a glass half full. Does it affect me as an OSR gamer? Anything that affects D&D has a trickle down to some extent. Even if it's just bring people into the hobby. I want a vibrant D20 Dungeons and Dragons based hobby scene because that's how we grow old school gaming and the OSR. They're not exclusionary. There's overlap. And I can tell you, I'm surprised by the number of people that have been watching my recent videos on Procedure and going, you've made my 5e game so much better.
Yes.
So take that for what it's worth, folks. Take that for what it's worth.
Dan Tesh, you're correct. Darlene is an absolute gem.
Oh, my God.
Last year at WizardCon, we did not approach her and ask for it. She voluntarily gave us a big map signed by her and personalized. In fact, it's hung right there. Very, very nice lady. Very, very nice. No forgiveness without heads rolling. Well, I mean, if that's what you need, that's what you need to play the game. I mean, It is what it is.
Get the people where they're supposed to be to do the best.
Yep. Susponte 6094, thanks for coming to the channel. They say, I tend to go the other way. Embrace the Gygax name for the Greyhawk release. Hell, get Luke to sign 1,000 of them personally by hand. Then mix the signed ones in with the regular sets. I'm sure that there's going to be something when Luke pushes this out. A lot more is going to come out. I'll just put it that way. I think people have some surprises coming. In fact, I'll tell you right now, you got surprises coming. Chris Moneymaker says it'll take a couple of years. Good stuff coming out for me to take a look at their stuff. For reference, I haven't liked anything that they've done from Alpha Magic to 5.5. And he goes on and says, I don't want an apology. I want good product. Exactly.
Right.
Death Angel Shadow, from my understanding, this book from Look, etc., is the first publication under the franchise. Yes, it is. That's the first documentary released by WotC. WotC made D&D political. It should never have been. I don't think they're able to reverse it. I think they can very easily reverse it. I mean, it's just a matter of putting out product that is, instead of political, make it apolitical and just sit there and put out neutral stuff. Make it gaming. And I think Dan Ayub is doing that. Death Angel Shadow says, expect from Hickman and Weiss as well. Green will be as well. Don't know. I know. I can tell you guys right now, there's some stuff coming franchise from them, from smaller creators, though.
Yep.
And Pseudo TPK says, I have zero faith until they remove the BS. This content wasn't okay and is okay now from anything before 2000. Not a fan of demonizing for my choice of game.
Your time frame is wrong, though. It's not anything before 2000. It's anything before the release of 5e.
Yep, 2014.
Okay, you're thinking that they're only throwing the OSR under the bus. They threw everything from D&D Next, their playtest material and drive-through prior. So it was certain creatives trying to throw people like Mike Marles and others under a proverbial bus.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was a political move, not just against gamers, but against people within WotC. There's more to it than it seemed.
Kuchi for 2450 says, just finished your spiking doors video, Tenkar. In college, we used to wedge pennies under the door in our dormitory. The door was impossible to open regardless if a door opens inward or outward.
Interesting.
Buster says, I hate it all pre-5e. The thing is I think what they did is with 5e, they thought that they would radically clean it up and make it better and add things to it. And I think they just kind of failed at it. But
they wanted it, since it was with Hasbro, they wanted to treat it like Monopoly. We don't have to put another edition out. We just, revise it every once in a while and bring it out again. And you put it in the family closet and bring it out and play it and put it back. That's the kind of thing.
Monopoly Vegas edition. Can we have a Monopoly Tehran edition? But I guess everything's removed from the board. Sorry.
But that was the original idea, I believe.
I know it certainly was. They saw how successful it was when they started branding all the different Monopoly versions, and you're getting the same schlop, but just
different names,
different packaging. Oh, I can get my D&D Monopoly. Oh my God, all these suites from Waterdeep. It's so exciting.
Yep.
Go to dungeon.
Well, I mean, I think Sispante 69 says, how ironic and poetic will it be if the OSR ends up saving modern D&D? And I think there's kind of a little bit of a weird truth to this comment, because when you take a look, and I'm going to bring it up for the fourth time, Shadow Dark. Why is Kelsey Grammer's game so popular?
Because she's smart.
Well, she's there's a number of reasons, but I think the initial, she timed it right. She had great advertising and the anti-OGL backlash, great packaging, high-end quality books that made it one that you wanted to hold and go, this is special. And she understands the power of community. Okay, she understands the power of being approachable by the people that are fans of your book and your work, and not being aloof and away from it. She is so tied into that. So, and she's a wonderful person. So,
well, but also the game itself has that weird 5e OSR mixed to it, that just really resonates with both kind of sides of the spectrum. Now, there's always going to be the people out there that are strictly OSR. I like AD&D. I like BECME. I mean, I'm a lover of BX, BECME, and I love AD&D.
Right.
But I really like BX and BECME.
Yep.
And that's like way back. But the thing is, at the end of the day, even if WotC turned off the D&D brand today, let's just be honest here. They said, we're not doing any more D&D. We're done. We're closing our doors. There's enough OSR stuff out there that everybody can play for the rest of their life.
And nothing ever leaves the internet.
Exactly. And you know what? Even if there's nothing to your liking, then why don't you use this and make it yourself? As Tim Cash used to say, use your fucking theater of the mind. Bark, bark. See, the dog even agreed with me. Whoever's got the dogs agreeing with me.
Thank you, baby.
Kuchi says, WotC definitely burned the OSR community because they thought they could reach another market. Now the market isn't bearing fruit. Well, it isn't, it 5.5 flopped. It did. 5e has been widely popular, and whether you like it or not, that's a truth. 5e has been widely popular, by younger players and even some older players.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if you got the right person at the helm and you get the right people underneath them, good things can happen.
But here's another thing though. Listen, I'm hugely OSR. We all know that, right?
Yeah, I think everybody in here is.
Okay, everybody here. But here's the thing. That's like comparing, I don't know, the largest of the Great Lakes with the pond in your backyard when it comes to impact. They didn't. You think that we were, I don't know, disrespected on purpose? We were disrespected because they just didn't care. Okay, we were not on their radar. Now, you know what? We're a little bit more on their radar because we are punching above our weight, and we have more disposable income than that. And that's what they're looking for. But don't think that they disrespected us because we were a threat. We weren't. We were very much not a threat. Okay. But now with these $1 million Kickstarters, we saw that with the OGL 2.0. What did they want? They wanted their share. And that is when I think the realization is that the OSR was something that you could market to. And I think they've come to that realization, and it's eye-opening. And I think Dan Ayub is going to have his fingers in many different pies within the game.
In the last few years, we've had more people from 5e come over to the OSR to say, hey, we want to learn this. Here's a couple stories from that. Gage started with 1e, BECME, all that kind of stuff. He jumped ship to 5e, but he will still play those old games. So that's the market they should be thinking about.
Yes, and I did mean Kelsey Dion. My apologies.
That's the best of both worlds right there.
Yeah.
My youngest one, here's a new one. My youngest one that I got hyped into, I heard from his mom the other day that, he talked his dad to buying him some D&D stuff. And so he had to buy D&D. So what do you think he'll buy? I didn't ask what he bought, but what do you think he'll buy? 5e? Oh yeah. So you're getting the best of both worlds here, basically, with these younger people.
Yeah, and we have a lot of people commenting how they play BECME or they play BX. Like Dixie in the Dark says, we play BX and BECME every Friday night. That's right, because the thing is, if you don't like the current edition of D&D, don't play it. Play BECME, play BX, play AD.
Play one of the play one of the clones.
Let me ask a question. How come everybody doesn't bitch about 2E? I mean, it was different than AD&D, because people time it as part of the OSR.
It is.
But here's what don't you see? You don't see people cloning much 2E stuff. And I ran more 2E than anything else, probably.
Once. It happened once.
2E is bloated. 2E is a bloated beast, and that's why nobody wants to clone it.
And practically every table, if you see 2E there, you're going to see some 1E books somewhere around there.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. No Life Online says Shadow Dark is my current go-to for fantasy RPG play using Tenkar's guidance.
Okay.
Excellent.
Cool.
Buster says we just wrapped up a 3.5 edition campaign, starting another one, this time Greyhawk. Yeah, I mean, again, people in the chat, we have people that are ardent OSR. I respect that. A very anti-5e. I get that. But then we have people that are in the middle that play, all these different editions, and they have fun with it. That's what the game is supposed to be about. Play what you want, have fun with your friends. Helio LB says, things are political since Star Trek and X-Men. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with the bad products like the video game Dungeons are making.
Well, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. When you put... Politics can survive in a product if it isn't what is trying to drive the product. Give me a good product and the politics will take they're disposable to a large extent. But when your products are to drive your politics, that's when things start coming off the rails.
John D. Retired said, I wouldn't ever have anything to do with anyone or any company that maligned my father, my family name. No apology be enough. But I guess I'm going to have to ask a question of John D. Retired. John D., tell me where they mentioned Gary Gygax's name. The way they did it was they basically kind of really just obliquely touched it.
Yeah.
And so, everybody. Yeah. So, everybody's up in arms about Gygax or not. But at the end of the day, you know what? WotC's a big company. And Ayub looks at it probably as he has a vision for D&D where he wants to take it. Evidently, Hasbro has given him the power to do this in some way, in some fashion. And the thing is if he's willing to go to Luke Gygax, and they probably have done this probably and said, listen, Luke, we apologize. It wasn't under my watch. You know what? Good for Luke for accepting it. Good for Luke to doing the project.
Yeah.
I am willing to say, you know what? I'm going to give it a chance because I think Ayub's the right guy to run the company. Buster says their interview specifically stated what they were up to. It wasn't old school being disrespected. It was the non-DEI group being actively excluded. Well, I think, and I'm going to tell you this as a game publisher, even as a book publisher, whether you like politics or not, it's part of your business now. We live in an era, and I will admit something here live. And Eric grabbed me by my collar and yanked me back. I posted something on my personal page, political, and Eric messaged me privately and said, Don, bad idea. And he was right. And I removed it. You have to be really careful these days what you post. Yes. But also you have to be very careful as a company. And Dan Ayub, I think, knows that. Whereas before they had a bunch of yahoos. Yeah, really different.
I sense a change in the wind direction.
Yeah, there's a change, people.
And listen, I'm going to throw this out there. We all have political beliefs. We all have political passions. Even I do. Holy shit, yes. Right? But guess what? It doesn't belong in my gaming, and it doesn't belong in anything that I do videos about. So
that's right.
Why am I going to bring it up? If you look at my Facebook feed, all right, my Facebook feed is apolitical, and that's for a reason, because nothing I'm going to say on Facebook is worthwhile sharing to the world. It's not going to do me any good, and it's not going to change anything. So why take the hit?
Yep. And Matt Sherman says something that brings my point home. Matt says, I think I'll stick with my old Greyhawk. There is enough out there already. I don't need anything new. I'll pass on the new. And bingo, there's where it's at. If you don't like the new stuff, play the old stuff. It's right there.
Yep. And you got tons of it.
Yes. And Tim says, Dan Ayub may have his hands in different pies, but how much input would he have on the recipe? It's still the same WotC. You know what? I think the reason why they hired Dan Ayub is because someone in the upper echelon of WotC got smart. And with this new franchise program, people, I am telling you, listen to it here. You'll be able to, say you heard it here. This new franchise thing is allowing smaller companies to get involved. There's, like I said, watch a couple announcements coming up. I think you'll see that.
But not only that, okay. My understanding is that when Dan took the position, it was with the understanding that if it's part of Dungeons and Dragons, it's under my control. I am the final word. It wasn't divided up like, oh, because this is digital and this is print and this. No, it's all under Dan.
Doesn't he have a hand in Magic too?
No.
Okay. But also Dan Ayub is the one who said no to the coming release.
Yep.
And that was there's a lot of money that goes into a book release. I mean, it's not just a guy working on layout. I mean, these major companies have a lot of people involved. And for Dan Ayub to have the power to say, that ain't going out, that's not coming out, right, throw it away, we're trashing it, that tells me WotC has given him, like Eric said, full control of the ship. He's got his hand on the wheel.
So guess what he's going to want to do? He's going to want to show that he can make the position work, that they made the right decision. And he's going to make some bold moves. I can guarantee you that. They're going to be bold.
Yep.
And that can, and not bold in the, I'm going to make a stand against old school gaming. No, he's going to make bold moves that people are going to go, wow, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
And that's what he's going to, his aim is different than the prior leadership, which was to signal and beat their chests.
And remember, they announced the franchise program, and I'm going to go right back to that. Think about what a franchise is. What does that mean for the brand? It means that smaller companies, if they present right, will be accepted into the fold and be able to create product. And like I said, just I'm just going to say, I think there's some coming announcements that are going to be really, really positive to people. Good. People are going to really shake their head and go, wow.
We got stuff to look forward to, I guess.
Yeah, Buster says, John D. retired, I agree. They didn't say in interviews that guy, I guess, was sexist or racist, so there is that. But also, I mean, since this was brought up, let's just be blunt here. If you take a look at what Gary Gygax did based on modern things, he was sexist and a little bit racist. But if you go back to the 70s, I'm going to say something here. And when I in the 70s and 80s when I was in junior high, we commonly would joke around and call people the
oh my God.
It reminds with card.
Yes.
It rhymes with card, and it rhymes with card.
It's not retired.
Yeah, it's not retired. We would commonly call each other that in front of teachers and laugh and joke and everything.
Oh, yeah. And that bundle of wood, you call people a bundle of wood?
Yes. And the thing is, these days, however, if a high schooler called another high schooler that, then that high schooler would be brought to the office and it's not acceptable. So things and activities that were okay in the 70s by adult men, like my dad even, are looked at now, and it's like, I mean, even I growing up, there's certain things I said as a kid towards other kids that was just fine that I would look at now and say, if one of my daughters said that, which they don't, thankfully, but if one of my daughters said it, I'd be like, hey, listen, come on.
25 years ago, when I first moved here to Oklahoma, Becky's sons would throw around with, that's really the word that rhymes with bay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Really bay. And the first time I heard him go.
But, and to show you how much things have changed, I mean, and it's not a recent swap, okay? When my son was probably 8 or 9, so probably around 2000, his mother got a call that she had to come to school because Chris had cursed out a teacher.
Whoa.
So I'm getting a phone call. I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, I got to go. And then I get a phone call like an hour later, and she's cursing she was a very Puerto Rican woman, and she was letting her inner self out. And I go, finally, like, what did he say? Kids were throwing spitballs, and he told somebody to stop. The teacher got mad at him, thinking that he was throwing it, and he told her that she was retarded. And she goes, and I got called in because he called the teacher that. I thought he dropped the F-bomb. I thought he said,
yeah.
She goes, so I told the teacher, well, you must be because you called me about this.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the thing is the whole point being is that, you know, if you take a look at, and I'm not going to use Gary, I'll use my dad. If you take a look at how adult men acted and actually, well, better yet, I'll say it like this. I'm not going to say anybody's grandma here, but there's a whole bunch of grandmas living right now that sat there and spit at black people going to school for the first time.
Whoa.
And went ahead and did that. How many years ago was that?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So as time moves forward, things that are acceptable back then are looked at today as bad. And now we're at that point here. Gary Gygax was indeed, he was a brilliant man. He was a hardworking man. He was a good man to his family, and he was a good man in general. But when you take a look back, even Tim Cass said it best. Things back then, Don, that we said and did are not the things that I would say and do today. And when you go to Curmudgeon in the Cellar, Tim actually talks about that a couple times. And Tim is like the OG, one of the OGs.
Right.
So, you know, yes, would I have done the disclaimer? No. But I wasn't controlling Motzi back then.
No.
Bingo. My table has no discussing politics, money, sex, or religion at the table. I see it all the time, people, just like you when you come to WizardCon.
Yeah.
You better read the rules, because we don't allow politics and that BS. I turned down a vendor. I'm not going to say the party, but they wanted to rent a table for the local political party in Battle Creek, and I told them no.
Yeah.
No politics.
Easy to start a fight in a con.
Well, yeah. Well, not only that, but we just don't. You know, it's not political. I don't care. You know, I don't care if two of them cross the table from each other. One bullet, you wouldn't get a table. You know, God, come show up, play games. That's what it's all about. Like that guy said, no politics at his table.
Yeah.
Buster says, I have played since '79. Never had a straight or gay storyline. When it comes to sex, just stupid idea for the game. It must be straight or gay. You know what? I've been playing since '77. And you know what? If someone wants to put a character together and they say my character is gay, guess what? Your character's gay.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't care. It's your character.
This is a point that I was going to bring up at one point, but somebody did it better than I did. You can't judge past civilizations by present ideals.
That's right.
But and that is so true. However, we will judge past civilizations, but we won't judge other current civilizations that obviously don't match our moral standards. But we're like, oh, well, that's a different culture. Well, then why are we judging the past, which was obviously a different culture? If you're not going to apply the same judgmental standards on modern cultures other than your own, don't judge your own past.
Well, there's a good point to be made here. I was born in 1967. I'm 58 years old. Okay. Yep. Okay. How many years before 1967 were blacks not allowed to vote?
In many states.
Bingo. You know, 1967, they had the riots in Detroit, Michigan. Why they had the riots? You know? And the thing is you make a really good point, Eric, is the thing I like about D&D is table to table. People can play. I don't care who you are. Be my friend, like me, my company. My company has transgender creators. My company has solid Trump supporters, solid Biden supporters. I don't give a shit what your politics are. You know what? Let's create good game and game products.
Right.
That's where it's at. Chris says, Don, what do you know about Dan? I'm not questioning you. I want to pick your brain. I know very little about him. I know very little about him also. I just believe that based on the things that he has said, I think that Dan Ayub is the 100% the right guy behind D&D now.
Yeah. I have been told that it's a possibility that he may appear on the Ten Cars Tavern live stream at some point.
That would be very, very cool.
I have no date. I was just told that from one of my co-hosts at GaryCon that it was a distinct possibility. So until it happens, it hasn't happened. But if it happens, trust me, you'll know.
Yep.
We'll give you plenty of warning.
And I will be very quiet.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Ruben Baracello, hi, thanks for coming to the channel. He says, yes, I meant Dark Sun, not Red. My bad. Yeah, no problem. No big deal. Pseudo says the R word has been coming back in full force the past couple of years. But, thing is, the whole point being is that there's just things that were acceptable in the 70s that are frowned upon now. And that's just a fact, man.
Yep.
I mean, hell, there's things in the 70s and 80s when I was in school, like I said, that are frowned upon now. Watsy relocates from Seattle to Texas, not just Austin. 99% of the problems solved. No, I disagree with that. I think that they're fine where they're at. But I think they're going to be. Don't they have? They got offices in Rhode Island or something.
Well, that's Hasbro. Yes.
Yeah. Fugly says I had an entire volume of Polish and Italian jokes back in the early. Okay, I got one for you. Take a look at the average act of Richard Pryor. The guy that does the rhymes.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
What's his name? Help me out, guys.
I'm trying.
My old dotage is showing.
Oh,
he did the Mary, Mary, quite contrary jokes.
Dice Clay.
Yeah, Andrew Dice Clay. Andrew Dice Clay. Can you imagine someone getting on stage and doing his jokes now? And he was in the 80s.
Mary, Mary, quite contrary.
Yep. Shave that.
Get off your ass.
Yeah. With the classic Hickory Dickory Dock.
Go ahead now. Do it.
Exactly.
Sam Kinison stuff. I mean, listen, we can even look at more recent comedians that have that don't play along the standard political lines, and they want to get them canceled. Dave Chappelle, right? Dave Chappelle's,
he gets in trouble a lot.
He walks to his own beat.
Yep.
He does not, and he'll offend people on all sides of the political spectrum, and they call for his head, right?
Yeah.
Now,
funny.
For Rachel's birthday, I actually got his tickets to go see a comedian in June who was extremely offensive. He is, Rachel loves him. Why? Because he's willing to offend without stepping back, and he's willing to work crowds. If you're willing to offend and work crowds, it's a dangerous job.
Yep. Bye, RPG Grandma. Stay safe, RPG Grandma.
Yep.
Bye. Thanks for coming.
Susan Ponte says, you can't judge past civilizations by present ideals. They and we are all products of their era. I'm sure 100 years in the future, they'll look back at us as a mob of kids. Exactly. I mean, there's going to be, 30 years from now, they're going to look back at 2026 and go, I cannot believe they said those things online and they did those things and they made those jokes. Society moves forward. Hypocrisy never changes. Well, the thing is it is what it is. I mean, you either as a publisher, you just got to stay neutral. And yeah. Dan Tesh says, 10 Cars Tavern agreed. Judge people in the 70s for not being up to modern sensibilities, but those same people will completely ignore countries that still throw gay people off roofs.
Yep.
It's what, I mean, how do you, but that's just it. How do you just got to move forward with it. I think that's what Luke is doing. Luke's doing a good thing. I agree with Luke. Everybody should be welcome. Gay, lesbian, intersex, or trans, straight, the whole shebang. Exactly. I don't care, okay, what you are or what you want to be or what you relate to or what you see yourself as. You have a right to be yourself. Treat me with respect. Treat my friends with respect.
I am 68. I will be 69 during WizardCon. And as the years have rolled around, your private life out away from the table has become less and less interested. I don't care,
Yeah.
Come to the table, play. That's all I care.
Right.
Yeah. Our class says sexual orientation, race doesn't matter. I welcome everyone as a DM. However, I do draw a line when someone wants to play race swapped elf in my setting because they are fair skinned in my design. And see, that's the thing. That's your table. That's your game. Art class, you want that, then you do that. As long as your players are happy with it,
right.
Roll with it. Sword and Stone says, greetings, how you doing? Thanks for coming on the channel. Chris Moneymaker says, my cousin was my first player. He's gay, but his sexuality didn't come into it. He was too busy kicking ass to check any out. Exactly. Swords and Stone says, my table is open to everyone, always has and always will be, as long as you're kind and enjoying. That's the whole thing. Be a decent human being at the table. I don't care who you are, okay? Eddie Murphy. Yeah, exactly. Andrew Dice Clay. Exactly.
Rob Schneider.
He also used good berries. Matt Sherman, you can't judge the past based on the current beliefs and social norms. Exactly. I agree with you 1,000%.
Yep.
I'm just worried about Watsy stealing my sweet, sweet dance moves.
You don't want me to dance.
Don
every
Rickle.
dance I did, puts me back into interview stance.
Well, if you started dancing, I'd be calling 911.
Oh yeah, and they'd be like, "Is he in this to protect his face and his firearm at the same time? What's going on?"
Yeah, exactly.
Then I come on and start doing some karaoke here.
How you doing, Chris? John Retired says, septum marine theory confirmed. You know what? You want to pierce your septum, knock yourself out. I mean, a lot of women do that. I mean, it is what it is.
Wow.
He said, except Chappelle has trans friends, which is even funnier when they tried to cancel him. Yeah, exactly. But the point being, look at what his content is. It's very, very offensive to a lot of people, and it's 2025. Well, it's not 2026. I'm praying that Spaceballs 2 doesn't hold back.
2 balls.
Yes. Septum ring.
That's hard.
Saw Joey Diaz last year is hilarious and doesn't give an F. Yep, exactly. History of the World. Yeah, Mel Brooks didn't do too good on that. 1969. Yep, we're 60, baby. We're the 60s babies. Buster says, who was excluding people before and we found out we were all racist or sexist? Insert aphobes. That was my issue. You know what? You know what the problem is? People go to Twitter and they watch people's posts and they feel compelled to comment.
Well, they want to be offended. Okay.
Yes.
They without being offended, they don't have a definition for themselves.
To me, Twitter's nothing but a cesspool of a bunch of offended types that want to sit there and argue, fight, and that's why I'm not on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, but I don't use my account. Let's put it that way. A D20 doesn't know who is rolling it. Exactly. My dark elves are albino. Actually, Fugly, so are mine because they live underground and they don't get access to the sun.
Yep.
I actually kind of went off the Time Machine movie in that. I changed my elves. Fun fact, I'm a vibe coding a new Swords and Wizardry system for Foundry VTGs, and Codex is in their stream, and it's coming along fantastically. Excellent. Maybe we could get you on the vlog of many things and demo it and show it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Chat is highly active. So first rate modules.
Geez.
These guys are going crazy.
It's going.
I love it
for a Tuesday exactly. 1965 for Sword and Stone. See, we got a bunch of 60s babies in here. I've had players create gay or non-standard gender characters in my games for you. As long as you don't want to RP weird sex, weird shit in the game, we're all good. That's right. You got your own rules for your thing. That's the way it goes, man. Susan Ponte says, make a good D&D game. People will want to come be part of the community. Don't make up for poor product by pandering to people who hate the community. 100% great products solve everything. Yeah, put your money where you put your products where your mouth is.
That's right.
People need to harden up. Well, I mean, people are people, except it wasn't Twitter. It was basic interviews with WASI employees, and then don't be a dick at the table. Exactly.
Yep.
You know, I mean, the community is exactly what the community is. I mean, and I think people sit there and I think they judge too quickly. You know, it's like Starbucks is an example. People hate on Starbucks. I got a daughter who's a manager at Starbucks, and she's my second oldest, and she'll tell you, and I'll tell you what, trust me, my daughter Alyssa is not a bone in the nose kind of gal. She's got a little bit of me with her, and she'll tell you what the company shows publicly is not how these stores sometimes. Yes, you go to Starbucks, you got people with green hair and stuff. That's all just the employees that come. But yeah, talk about non-political. Looks political publicly, but they're not political internally. At least with her store. Ruben says, "Is Keep on the Borderlands a solid replacement?" Oh, he has a question. Is Keep on the Borderlands a solid replacement for Hamlet and the Moat House, and then level 5 do Temple of Elemental Evil? Kind of more of a weird what?
Well, if you're trying to figure out how to level up your party to properly enter the temple, that's fine.
Yeah,
you could probably enter around level 4, I think, but
4.
I think fireballs on or lightning bolts on going to make the early levels of the temple extremely light.
Yeah, you might want to consider those greatly as your spell choices.
Just a thought.
Yeah. Though when running RPGs for kids like Hero Kids RPG, I censored the game. Of course, you act differently when you got little ones at the table. But yeah. So guys, we've been on for an hour.
Wow.
It's Tuesday. Wow, yeah. We've had a lot of people in chat, a lot of people watching. It's been a really busy chat. Thank you for everybody. I think we should go now. I think Tuesday lunch hour is over with.
Yeah, listen, I appreciate everybody showing up, especially since we had a little hiccup. So the initial the pre-advertised link didn't work.
Yes. So please like and subscribe the channel that you're watching on right now. Help us out by subscribing to the channel. You help the individual out.
Yes.
Real quick, we'll make the last 2 comments. Ruben says, "Heard maybe run Keep and then Hamlet at level 4 or 5." Right. Chris Moneymaker says, "Writing non-political products right now, it's going to be a wild punch you in the mouth, weird exploration of strange places." Good. That's good. That's positive. Buster, see you later. And the last comment is Sword and Stones. Oh, wait, last comment's going to be Matt Sherman. Ciao, guys. Thanks, guys. Tuesday lunch is the best. You are very welcome, Matt. And again, Matt, thank you for coming up to WizardCon. I'll buy you a beer. When I disagreed with you, I wasn't trying to be a dick. I just disagreed with you, and that's what this vlog is all about.
Yep. It is. And trust me. My book.
Buy
the book. Damn it.
And I can
book and may see some money from someday.
Yep, so. And I can promise you guys, we all 4 disagree on a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
But we like each other. We're here on the video because we can disagree and kind of. So, everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Vlog of Many Things for Tuesday lunch hour. Hope you guys all have a good